Hello, and thanks for joining us. I'm here with Abraham Bravo. He's the founder of Travelisto, which is a new style of travel agency that has opened its doors despite the COVID-19 pandemic. So, hi, Abraham. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.
And tell us a bit about Travelisto and why is it different to other travel agencies?
Sure. The main difference is that the entire team work remotely. So not simply as home workers, but rather we are on-the-go travel advisors. And doesn't matter whether we are temporarily traveling and working from Boston or Brazil or Bali, we adjust our working hours and we work around our customer needs. And while we're there, the objective of being there is to get familiar with the destination. So they can build a tailor-made package to Sri Lanka while maybe, we are traveling ourselves in Sri Lanka. So we can tell the customer, I went to this fantastic local activity or I went to this fantastic restaurant. So instead of that inspiration coming from, reviews online or what a tour operator that only sells a selection of products might provide, or the high street agent that maybe goes on a fun trip maybe 1 week out of the year, if that's. So our travel designers, that's how we call them, have their expertise of being really traveling around. So it's a bit of a lifestyle choice. Sometimes could be compared a little bit to what a digital nomad or a travel blogger might have, right? That sort of lifestyle. But they are full-timers, they are very professional, they come from the industry and they have that, not just that sales experience, but also have that destination experience completely firsthand.
So these are
also, I think our technology also another difference. I think that our platform is completely integrated to multiple channels. So where the customer prefers Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or the live chat, or they just want to have a regular call. We also use remote meetings or virtual meetings like this. So similar to Zoom, we have another platform that allows us to share our screen with the customer so we can go through the entire suggested itinerary. Or if it's a pre-departure call, we can actually show them and run through their travel documents so that we can clear any doubts. So the use of technology is all integrated. So even when one of the travel advisors might be unavailable, somebody else is able to see the entire record and they're able to provide assistance. So that's, I think, the main USP is differences Travelisto.
Sounds like a very tried and tested formula. So it's very personal. Yeah.
Yes. In fact, the technology is not something that is entirely new. I think today it's difficult to have everything integrated and connected, but we've managed to do that. And also, I've been traveling for quite a while myself. So, and in fact, that's part of the reason why I was inclined to open my own company.
I was going to ask you a bit about your background and how you tend to travel around. So that's what inspired you then.
Exactly, yeah. So, I think that several things inspire me. One of them was my personal lifestyle. Over the years in my career, I've been responsible for product purchasing from sales and distribution to up to 80 different source markets. I've represented businesses in trade shows and networking events. So I've been on the road a lot. And I think all that level of business travel, brings a toll in your personal life. Also, my husband travels quite regularly as well for work. So at some points, our conversations during dinner were all about when our next trip is going to be. Are we going to be able to travel with each other? It was getting a bit too much. And sometimes, it was just very difficult to put a holiday in the calendar where we both were completely not working, completely off the radar. So I think that was also part of the motivation. But I think that many travelers, if not all travelers, they do want that experience that is local. They don't want to miss out. But at the same time, many of the outbound travel companies from the UK are limited in the expertise that they can provide. And also, a tour operator has sometimes to push to fill those stocks, those beds, those committee costs that they have in their tours. And therefore, they might not be providing that full experience. On the opposite side of the spectrum, you may have inbound companies where there is a DMC that wants to operate and sell directly to consumer, or other localized companies. Those are challenges that, you know, they're not able to connect so well with the UK traveler. They don't understand the culture or a social group, they don't identify, and therefore the engagement, the rapport isn't there. So I think Travelisto helps bridge those two together, because we're going to have people from the UK that are traveling overseas, that they know how the UK consumer or traveler thinks, but at the same time, they're going to be able to provide that knowledge that is being sourced by their own experience while they're traveling around.
Great. And obviously, it's a strange time to launch such a travel business. What challenges have you faced with the COVID-19 pandemic that's currently going on, and how have you had to adjust your business around that?
I think the main challenge is, particularly for a young business, is the uncertainty. Like, it's a waiting time right now for everyone in the industry. My personal prediction is that by early June, we will see the first travel restrictions lifted or adjusted. And that's roughly the time it took the one province in China and the rest of China to really reopen hotels and air travel and so on. In our case, we needed to adjust because our marketing obviously has attracts a lot of interest, but the sales are not necessarily there as it happens in the industry right now, right? Not everyone is having a lot of sales. So it's quite hard to gauge and to understand how our marketing is being effective. So there has been quite a bit of changes that we had to do. And also, Travelisto, being such a young company, is not eligible for a coronavirus business loan. Obviously, furloughing is not even something that we consider at this point. But yeah, some adjustments have to be made because the uncertainty that this creates, and not having that responsive audience to our brand and to our marketing techniques and to our product offering as well, that is really what is having us going back to the drawing board and trying to see what else we can do.
Yes, of course. Yes, I think it's a challenging time for any established agency, let alone one that's just coming up. But I think you're doing a great job. And what has the response been then?
The response has been very positive. I mean, many people were joking, saying "bravo, bravo," which is my surname. Other people were telling me, because it's quite courageous to still do the launch, even in the middle of the crisis. My name, which is a Spanish name, Bravo, actually means brave or courage, right? So yeah, that was a bit of the joke. But I think that aside, the response has been excellent. Everyone was kind of looking for good, positive news from the industry in these times. So I think that a lot of them have received it with a positive attitude. In fact, we've received about 16,000 unique visitors from our organic search. So a lot of people have been coming to check out our website, and they've been subscribing to our newsletter and following our social media. So even though, as I said, in terms of sales, the performance isn't there across the industry, but we've received a high number of organic visitors. So that's very good. And the feedback from the website, from our product offering, from the concept, has been as well very well received.
And how do you think the coronavirus pandemic will change the landscape of travel? And do you think people's attitude towards travel will change once the ban is lifted?
I think that the changes will be primarily in how we review our policies. And in an industry, for example, we've been hearing a lot from various members of the industry how the travel package regulation might need to be discontinued, which is, I think it's unlikely that it will happen. Also, even what happened recently with Thomas Cook, I think it showed that our actual scheme also is limited, and sometimes the taxpayer ends up paying for fleeting charters to bring back the stranded passengers. So I think from the compliance and regulatory sector, I think there will be changes, but I don't think anything will happen within the next 12 months because it's not something that is so easy to implement. In terms of consumers, I still think the consumers will continue traveling. And there are some statistics that will be published soon that shows that the intention of the travelers are still there. Even for example, UK travelers going to Spain, the latest statistics show that there's still confidence in going once, things go back to normal. So I think it's in our DNA. We love traveling. It's something that fulfills our persona, and it is something that is going to continue happening. So I think there's going to be some logistics, there's going to be some legal and regulatory changes, but in terms of the confidence of the consumers, I think that people are going to continue traveling almost as normal.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. I think people are desperate already to travel and are planning trips around the world. But do you think that this will promote sustainable travel, and people will be thinking more about how they're traveling and the effect that this has on the world? Do you think that could be a new trend?
Well, I think yes, it would help. Obviously, within the last year or so, after a very good documentaries, I think the perspective of consumers started changing. We've seen that specifically towards the use of plastic and other initiatives. I think that the consumer wants to push for sustainable travel, but I think the responsibility really lies with governments and organizations, and the industry needs to push for that as well. So I think sustainable travel is going to be seek further from the travelers, but the real change will come from governments.
Is that something that Travelisto will try and push then? Sustainability?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're big on adventure travel as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, as I said, we're very selective in who we partner with. I think the beauty of a company like us that it's fairly new. We don't have a lot of commitments. We're not in debt with any company. We can choose to be free and really partner with who we believe it's really a sustainable partner and it's doing the right steps. But at the same time, it's not always easy because we cannot know through the whole supply chain, how everybody's been consistent. But definitely, we have been very careful, and we've been in the industry long enough to really know our partners well, and therefore, we will make sure that our offering really promotes sustainable travel.
Great, that's good to hear. And how big is the team spread out across the globe?
At the moment, it's fairly small, but also because the current situation has our recruitment plans on hold. And so at the moment, we have 3 people that are permanently working in the team, and then we have some part-timers that they're also working with us. At the moment, they're working as freelancers or self-employed, but we really want to have a permanent team who will be able to, whatever they want to be traveling around, that they are part of our permanent staff. That's very important for us as well for that consistency and for have a team that is reliable and as I said, working around the different time zones to be able to provide a good service to our customers. I think that the work-life balance that our business model brings to everyone in this staff makes us happier, makes us more productive, more motivated. And I think that really shows in the level of customer service that we provide.
Sounds like the perfect job, really. And you personally, what are you most looking forward to once the travel ban is lifted? Where will you be off to?
Well, I think as many people, family comes priority, right? We've been apart from our loved ones for some time now, against their will. In fact, I was in New York. My husband and his family is from New York. His daughter lives in New York. So we were actually there when the travel ban was first put in place. And we literally had to rush back because we didn't want to be stranded over there. So I'm looking forward to go back to New York, also Madrid in Spain, where I'm from, and other parts of Spain. So all of my family is there. It's been terribly hit by the crisis. So yeah, obviously there's a lot of concern, and I think
they're
the first thing
permanent lockdown, aren't they, in Spain?
Absolutely. And I think Spain, overall in some countries of Europe, I think Spain and Italy, they do have, in proportion, they have a higher number of elderly people. And I think that's also a reason why, the numbers have just skyrocketed. So I'm looking forward to go back there and spend some time with my family. But In terms of my bucket list, my next trips that I have planned were for Mauritius, South Africa, Colombia, which is a stunning destination that hasn't been on the radar, and it's now being put on the map again, and definitely Japan. So those are the countries that I'm more looking forward to go and visit. So yeah, I think that very soon we'll be able to travel safely again, and I cannot wait to go and keep exploring.
Thank you so much, Abraham. It's been great chatting to you, and yeah, I really wish your company the best. And yeah, it's a great brand, and I'm sure that you will thrive going forward. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Thank you. It's my pleasure. Thank you.